Well, hi again, folks. This is a lovely little run that we did on New Year's Eve that came out of the village of Knapp Hill, and then it worked its way around in this wonderful loop. So you can find this route available on our Komoot page, you can see here, as well as an export to GPS device. So if you can grab hold of a GPX file if you want. It's 23 miles long, and some of it is quite major road. You can see here's the loop, and it's got a sort of double loop. The bit that's shared between the loops there is the canal. So we started in Knapp Hill, then we shot through St John's really, then down into Old Woking, worked our way down the bottom there through Send and over the Ripley bypass, and at that point we started to sort of head inland a little bit, got a little bit quieter, round through Clandon, work our way back up through Ripley, and then through Purford, and we rejoined via the canal. We just felt that was easier than going back through Woking. So there's the whole route. It's pretty simple. There was a bit too much traffic on the roads, but it was New Year. So here we go. I'm not quite sure why my camera recorded in such low resolution. This looks like it's done in 720, but I assure you it wasn't. So there we are at the top of Anchor Hill. We're heading down back Victoria Road and down past Barrack Path, which is at the bottom on the right there. It's the playing field for Winston Churchill School, and we head out across the new traffic light that's designed theoretically for cycles onto the canal bridge in St John's, and then we follow the track around. Yep, I didn't realise this video was such low quality. So we're now back along the canal towpath. I think it must have been very dark, and heading towards Woking. So we're just in the back of St John's now, and heading up along the top there. Now that's heading up towards the Goldsworth roundabout. Just be a little bit careful. I wouldn't go along the top here. I'd get on the road because that was really muddy and really slippery, and brought us off to the old Goldsworth roundabout, round past Burns the Plumbers, under the bridge, and then when we get to the end we are going to turn left and head down Witch Hill. So we get to the roundabout and we go straight over past the football ground, but you can get on a cycle path that's on the right hand side here, head round to the back of Woking, and on the edge of the park there we just carry on into Old Woking. There we go, Old Woking, the electricians, and then we get to the little roundabout here with the New Life Church opposite, and then we turn left, and then we get to the end here and we're going to go right at the next roundabout, past Hipley Street, right at the roundabout, and we're heading off the usual way that most of the commuters would take to get towards the A3 at Send. So this road could be pretty grim. We're going over the river there. That's quite a nice place to stop and start the ride if you wanted. But we head into the middle of Send. Watch out for this little crossroads here. Well, I thought it was here. Maybe we missed it. No, just there. And then we head on out the back of Send, and we're heading down towards Clandon. So in theory it's cycle path all the way down here. You can see it marked, and that makes it much safer, but the road was fairly busy, probably not helped. So we go past the main road there, and we're getting a bit caught up. That's why it pointed into the sky. And heading off. Yeah, quite a lot of distortion here. Work our way along this road. That was still fairly busy. Now we're in Clandon. Very smart here, lots of cars, and eventually we're going to quieten up. Yes, we're nowhere near as fast as the posh riders. This part of this route was very close to the Olympic route, and so you get a lot of cyclists trying it all out. We're now getting a little bit more rural, as you can see. Head round. Traffic lights were red, and they're still red, and then suddenly we're off. They're often digging it up here. Working our way through the village. Big hedge on the left that sometimes gets cut. There's the church for Clandon Park, and a couple of tight corners here, so we're going to go left. Now this is the major road. This one can get quite busy because this is the road that was used in the Olympics. It was also used in the Tour of Britain, and it heads off eventually. If you get far enough up here, you can work your way towards Leatherhead and Box Hill. But we're going to turn left up here, and this is where it starts to get much more rural, and we're going to head back towards the river really. I think by now it was beginning to get a little bit dark. It was a grim day and there'd been quite a lot of rain. As you can see by the puddles on the road, but not too many cars the moment you leave the main road. Fairly fast round here, but clearly not a particularly wide road. You'll see there's no white line in the middle. More cyclists passing us. And we turn left, past the farms, and now we're heading back up to Ripley. So we're going to cross the road again. That's the A3, and fairly fast bit of road this, and then it's not long up here that we decided to stop and have a cup of tea. And now you can see we've started again. Here we are in Ripley. That's the old A3, and now we're heading back off up this side road. This is quite a nice route, but a lot of people do take this. This is going to head towards Bisley, and it's a road that we often take when coming back from the A3 and leaving it and heading back towards Woking. So across the railway, across the river. It's not too bad at certain times, but I would avoid it during coming home from work time. This was New Year's Eve, so there are one or two people out later on in the day, but it was starting to get a little bit later. But you can see the sun's now come out, and better quality image as well here. So we start to head back towards Woking, and we're getting near towards where the old girls' grammar was. Perford. Turning left back towards Woking, and then when we feel like it we can turn right again up here, and this brings us back up into Woking near College Road, not far from the mosque and B&Q. So here we go onto the double roundabout, down past the supermarkets, and then off we go under the bridge, and we're heading out of Woking now, and the original route took us over, but we turned left here and joined the canal because we just felt it was much nicer, and headed back along this bit of the canal towpath past the outskirts of Woking, Maybury sort of area, and then back in towards the town centre. And they've got a new underpass, overpass here, so much nicer than it was before, so you don't have to actually cross the road at all. And then we're heading back. I'm not sure whether it's called the Venus Way or the Saturn Way. There's a couple of bridges here. That one was not too bad, but the next one, really, if you're not careful, you could lose your head on a little bit. So it's worth watching out and maybe slowing down and getting off for some of these bridges, because they're not really tall enough for a tandem anyway, or anybody who's over 6 foot riding a bike. But here we go, working our way back towards St John's. Now, the canal was really lovely at this time of night. Must admit, the time lapse makes us look like we're herring into people and that they're jumping out the way, but we're ringing the bell and they're moving in plenty of time. So we come up past the back of the old row barge in towards St John's, up onto the upper level, and then we're into the middle of the town here. We tend to go up and round and rejoin the canal on the other side, and that will take us to the end of Black Horse Road. We like this little bit, very familiar with it as a child. Used to walk up here before it was properly turned into a nice cycle ready towpath. Past the railway, those stanchions on the left hand side buttressing the side of the railway, but we come up to the end of Black Horse Road, over the canal, past the canal boats, and then back into the village of Knapp Hill, over this roundabout, and then head up Lower Guildford Road to the top of Anchor Hill. Get a little bit busy actually just up here because of all the parked cars. You have to sometimes watch out for that, but we're able to get round into the village and past the garage court. Petrol was cheap then, and head up past the Garibaldi, and we will leave you there. Thank you very much for joining us, and here's a summary of the route. We look forward to seeing you in the next one. If you've enjoyed this little route, then please consider subscribing to us and giving the video a like, because it helps us, but it will also enable us to bring more and more local routes to you. Thanks very much, and we'll see you on the next ride. Bye.